Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. We're focusing on some of the items highlighted in that APC's NEC meeting. Dimeji Fabiyi joins us from our studios in Abuja. He's a member of the APC. Good morning, and thank you for joining us today. Well, I do know that some members of your party had initially spoken of having played certain roles in the party and got nothing to show for it. But now, in that APC meeting, the president has said, well, he's going to listen to all of those calls. I'm sure you, perhaps some of the other members, they should be happy about now, shouldn't they, having heard what the president has said?
Well, thank you very much. Good morning, gentlemen. First, I'd like to say that the party, as we know, the party has not been able to hold some of its statutory organs meeting in the last 2 years, talking of the caucus meeting, talking of the NEC that eventually took place yesterday, and then the day before yesterday and yesterday. I think that it's a welcome idea for me, and I think I want to thank Mr. President for yielding to all this pressure, and for the party to come up and then hold this. Lots of agitations, lots of bickerings, lot of issues from stakeholders, from members of the party, and it's good for me, and I hope it douses the tension arising from this. For me, I think it's an effort to do the right thing. It's an effort to put things in proper perspective. I just hope that this would continue, and so that I can put the party in a good position, and then afford them the opportunity to be able to address so many issues at both the government level and the party level. I hope they'll be able to tighten all the loose ends.
There are those who thought that at the end of that meeting yesterday, a date would be announced for the party's national convention. How is it that that's another statutory meeting that hasn't really been held in how many years? So what's the situation?
I think that largely is usually how that is done is that there will be a proposal from the National Working Committee, they will propose the date, the time for most of these statutory activities, and then it will go to NEC for ratification or approval, as the case may be. I think that is the process. This was a NEC meeting, and I don't think that was on the agenda. If it was on the agenda, it would have been discussed. But usually the practice is the National Working Committee will raise the proposal, and the NEC would approve it. It will approve the time and date for the National Convention. Yeah, that's the way it's done.
The president did say that... If I could just follow up on that, I'm just wondering, when you talked about the time, that yes, once this is done, you have time to address some of those issues, but given the way things play out here, do you think your party really have the time? Because I'm not sure you have more than a year to deliver on some of those promises. So if in 2 years you still have some things outstanding you need to do, can you achieve them in just a year?
Well, if it's possible, but it depends on the drivers of all these activities you're talking about. But I know one thing I know for sure is that government is continuing. Some of the things that the government may not be able to address now, of course, when the new government comes on board, they will take it off from there. The last government couldn't finish some of the things they even highlighted, they even prepared to do, and this government has taken it off from there. So that is the way it is. I strongly believe that yes, we may not be where we're supposed to be now, where we hope we should have been, but I believe with time and more energy into the programs of the government, more focus, and then we'll be able to achieve some of these things.
What's your party doing in respect to appointments? We hear that the president wants to appoint more ministers to his cabinet. But just a couple of days back, we had the national chairman of the NCP, Dr. Yunusa Tanko, say that there are a lot of gaps a lot of appointments have not been made in the APC that will suggest that that structure of the party is in place to really handle the challenges that we face as a country. Is your party looking towards going beyond the appointments for the ministers to other agencies, departments, and even other arms of the APC?
Well, for me, I think it's a good way to start for Mr. President to have come out and said, okay, I'm rejuvenating my cabinet, I'm going to do appointment. But I don't have any problem with that. I don't have any problem with cabinet reshuffle. I don't have problem with board appointments. But what I have problem with, it shouldn't be just for party patronage. It should be for the good people of this country, people that will come on board and do the right thing, people that will come on board and provide that needed governance, good governance to the people. That is my concern. So it shouldn't be on the... Yes, I agree to the fact that you have to balance it, because having in mind that you are going to have an election in the next 2 years, but at the same time, you need a good scorecard to be able to do that, and that is why it will be the best thing that Mr. President would do is to ensure that while rejuvenating your cabinet, while appointing people into boards, there must be people who will deliver the goods. There must be people who are competent. See, loyalty, this goes beyond loyalty. It goes beyond enthusiasm. These two cannot do it, but what can do it is competence, is capacity, and character. So when all these things are missing, it's still zero. So for me, it's like when you desire a dream team. When you have a dream may be bad, but you need a team that will fine-tune that dream. You need a good team that will be able to put your dream into perspective, that will be able to put into a profitable venture. So what I'm saying in essence is that just like in football,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Just like in football, when you have,
go ahead.
Just like in a football match, the spectators are expecting the goals. So in the meantime, as a coach, you must know when to change your striker so that you can get that goal. It's the same thing in politics. Citizens are expecting good governance. So if you don't have a team that can do that, then it's all zero. For me, you need a good team that will put this money that we say we don't have. A good team will look for that money. This recession that we're in, a good team will help Mr. President to take us out of it. A good team will help him fight corruption. A good team will help him fight unemployment and poverty. So these are the things I see. It's just like you just have to balance it. So it must be people.
On the lighter note, you always get attention when you talk about football. But speaking about those appointments, some of the people we heard from previously when they said, yes, I did certain things for the party and they left me in the cold. Are you suggesting that the party should then perhaps leave those kind of considerations and go largely for technocrats, especially as you approach 2019 elections? You all are politicians. You will always play politics. So that's going to be a very delicate balance, don't you think?
No, for me, it's not going to be a delicate balance. Let me tell you what I think. See, in political parties, in political party activity, is about stakeholding. And the people come together. President Muhammadu Buhari did not win this election on his own. People helped him. People contributed financially and otherwise to make sure that he becomes the president. So it behoves on Mr. President to call these people. Put it, let's say, groups. Tinubu have his own group. Atiku has, all other people has group. PDP has group. Don't let me even narrow it down to all these individuals. There is no group that does not have both the good